They called her the Ice Queen until a human melted her with a smile. They called her the Ice Queen of Archeoprime. Commander Silavar, heir to the Frostborn Empire, was known across the galaxy for her cold eyes, calculated orders, and the icy glow of her armor. She never smiled, never hesitated, and never let anyone close. Even her own people feared her. And yet, one human changed everything. It started on a diplomatic mission. The Frostborn Council had reluctantly agreed to a joint security operation with the humans of Earth's United Colonies. A team was sent to Archeoprime, where temperatures dropped low enough to freeze oxygen in the air. Commander Var was assigned as a liaison. Her orders were clear: assess the humans, tolerate them, and show no weakness. Then he arrived. A man named Dorian Hale. Rank, security tech specialist. Weapon, sarcasm. He didn't wear reinforced frost gear like the others. He wore an old navy blue coat, some thermal padding, and, most puzzling of all, he smiled. Commander Var, right? He said on the first day, flashing a grin. Do I salute or bow? Or both, just to be safe? She stared at him, expression neutral. Neither. Just don't fall behind. Yes, ma'am, he said, already walking beside her, hands in his pockets. By the way, has anyone told you you're very good at intimidating silence? She didn't respond, but for the first time, something tugged at the corners of her mouth. For weeks, he annoyed her. He asked questions. He cracked jokes. He made bets with the other soldiers on how long it would take him to make her smile. None of them won. Silith was unbreakable. She trained with relentless focus, held briefings without emotion, and walked through blizzards like they were gentle breezes. She didn't laugh, didn't complain, didn't even blink when others stumbled from the cold. And yet Dorian didn't give up. You know, he said one day, walking beside her through frozen ravine, if you smile just once, the sun might come back. She gave him a side glance. You think I control solar activity? No, but I think you could if you tried. She should have told him to be silent, should have reminded him that she was not to be spoken to so casually. But instead, she allowed him to walk beside her, again and again, and one day she let him hand her a hot drink, not because she needed it, but because, for a brief moment, the warmth felt nice. Trouble struck during a patrol mission. A seismic detonation collapsed the glacier they were monitoring, trapping several human engineers beneath the ice. Commander Var and her squad responded instantly. As they dug, Dorian vanished. She found him 20 minutes later, nearly frozen, using his own body heat and emergency thermal patches to keep one of the injured engineers alive beneath the rubble. You could have died, she said, voice tight. He looked up with shaking hands and pale lips. You'd miss me if I did? She knelt and lifted him into her arms. Perhaps. It was the first time she touched him without a weapon in hand. Dorian was confined to the med bay for 2 days. When he awoke, Commander Var stood beside him, arms crossed, silent. He smiled despite the 4 in his arm. Hey, Ice Queen checking on me? Is the world ending? She didn't respond at first. Then, you are foolish, undisciplined, and reckless. He grinned wider, but charming. Her lips quirked, just a little. He sat up slowly. Wait, was that a smile? She didn't answer, but her eyes softened. From that day, something shifted. She still trained like fire frozen in steel, still barked orders and carried herself like royalty. But when Dorian entered the room, her gaze followed. When he made a comment, she listened. When he joked, she no longer silenced him. One day, he offered her a carved crystal flower made from a shard of glacier he'd cut himself. She took it, didn't speak. just stared at it for a long time, then said, "It will not melt no matter the heat." He smiled. "Like you?" She looked at him. Perhaps not anymore. Rumors spread. The Ice Queen speaks to a human. She accepted a gift. She almost smiled. She cares. The council summoned her. "You are weakening," the High Elder said. "Humans are sentimental, dangerous." Silas stood tall. "They are also brave and loyal and more alive than some of us. You risk the legacy of our empire for a man who jokes through ice storms?" She looked the council in the eyes. "No, I honor our legacy by learning that the cold is not the only way." And she walked out. Later that night, she found Dorian on the ridge overlooking the frozen plains. He was bundled up, watching the stars reflect off the glacier. She sat beside him. For a long time, they didn't speak. Then she said softly, "They said I was weakening." He looked at her. "Are you?" She turned to him, closer than she had ever allowed anyone before. "No, I think I am thawing." He blinked. That was almost poetic. "I've been around you too long." He reached out, gently brushing a strand of white silver hair from her cheek. "You're not what they say you are, and what you say I am." He smiled again, not a teasing grin this time. A gentle, true smile. "You're just someone who needed to be seen." For the first time in her life, Silith smiled back. A real one. No armor. No frost. Just her. The Ice Queen of Archeal Prime was never the same again. She still commanded with strength. Still led her people. But now she smiled. She listened. She felt. And at her side, always, was a human who melted her with nothing more than kindness and a crooked grin.